hand then. Alright. We are doing a review of these three guys. Beachcomber, turn around. Yes. Universe Legends, Beachcomber, Bumblebee, and Brawn. Absolutely the best in terms of the size of the vehicles and them being representations of G1 minibots. They have to fill out the maximum size of what I've seen for Legends of any type. They're just big, but it makes them more scaled in terms of Generation 1 minibots to the current deluxes, which makes them more acceptable minibots, if you think about it. More acceptable Legends. I mean, you can't really play with the normal Legends with your deluxes and ultras and stuff, but hey, these guys, you have a perfectly valid reason for having much smaller troopers around. Thinking about picking up a few more sets of these because they are, well, not incredibly cheap. In fact, one of the things I dislike about the Legends line is retailers Hasbro has them on their store for $3.99, and that's where I got these guys from Hasbro Toy Shop. But any retailer you go to, it's going to be about $5 because there's a markup up on mini toys, because parents obviously want to buy their kid only you can only have a tiny toy today, little treat toy. So the retailers take advantage of that and they charge an extra $2, and we collectors wind up also fitting the bill just because we want to have some, just because we want to finish off our collection. And let's start with Brawn, because there really hasn't been another Brawn toy since G1 and the keychain reissues. Of that same G1 toy. But there was an attempt to do a Universe Brawn for BotCon 2003. It was going to be a repaint of Energon Strong Arm with new Energon glowy fists, retooled attachments. I don't think that would have worked very well because Energon Strong Arm doesn't have, ironically enough, very strong arms, and attaching stuff to them would just make it click off even faster, especially if they were Brawn-like fists. So here's Brawn in his robot mode. As you may or may not be able to see, Brawn has a pretty accurate head. It actually reminds me, it's basically a lot like his dome head, but with the truck canopy over it, and the face, unsurprisingly, reminds me of the Legends Megatron I reviewed, the G2 Tank Megatron style face, but with blue eyes instead of red. It reminds me of that. The articulation is kind of weird on Brawn, because I think it's kind of cool, but you may be turned off by this strange motion in his chest, between his chest and his waist. They don't click in together, but it can be ignored, and at least Brawn can look up at things. Since he has no head movement, he can look up by unhinging his waist. Also, the legs don't have knees that go backwards in any considerable way. Instead, they go forward a lot, more than any other Legend. And at first I was like, great, he doesn't have real knees, he just has knees that could only be used for transformation. And then I thought, it's Brawn. He's the strongest Autobot. He's their tiny fighter. He just wants to whap the Decepticons around and be completely underestimated before he can get up in their face. So it makes perfect. So it's actually more fun to have a Brawn that can do a super kick. All right, Brawn's articulation means I might as well explain it. It's you can push the arms in and out, and you can move them around, up and down, all around. But my hand is in the way. Up and down, but joint up there is really tight on any motion of moving them around. The legs are fairly loose on their ball joints, on their upper ball joints, and also the looseness on the torso. But the knee joint, if you can like the kick, is pretty much worth it. And also you can do some foot rotation, just to adjust some stances, just for stance adjustment. I think it makes it look dramatic. Tampographed Autobot symbol on his orange chest. So great. Let's go to vehicle mode, which is really where Brawn is neat. His transformation is not as simple as you think. It's hinge the chest, connect the two legs together, and flip them back using the hip piece, and then rotate the arms so they're above his head and telescope them down into the chest. So basically you do get his legs on top of his roof, but it kind of looks like a roof rack by doing so. Neat alternator-esque thing with Brawn, though, is he has a spare tire. Thankfully they're not green tires like some early photos said they would be. This spare tire spins for some reason because it's attached with the same connectors as the normal spinning wheels. And what I like about what makes this seem alternator-like to me is that it's the same tire as the rest of the tires on the vehicle, so it's very realistic. Usually you get, if you have a Jeep that has a spare tire, it's not going to be a tire he could actually use. It's just going to be something that looks like a tire. So really nice. It is a spare tire, truly. Bumper with blue highlights. Very nice. Very cool. I like him a lot.